If the USA is so great, then why did they make a USB? I mean, that one's better. Those tattoos that have an anchor and say I refuse to sink are so stupid. Do you not know that anchors are literally supposed to sink? That's the point of them. If you want a tattoo that says that, make the picture be of a pool noodle or some floaties or something. I refuse to sink in Comic Sans. Cooking. The recipe is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules. Baking. The recipe is not just a rule, it is a law, as immutable as gravity. In cooking, pi equals 3. In baking, pi equals 3.14. In pastry making, pi equals 3.1415926535898897. Yes, I was one of those people. God help you. You're the only person who gets it. Yeah, this one, I don't do any of them. Pi equals fire in my house. One of my students downloaded an image for a project today and named it, before my eyes, PNG.jpg. My eyes just started blinking independently of each other as I tried to process this. I actually think this is hilarious. I'm just gonna start adding like the wrong extension to the actual file name part, despite the right extension being there, just to give the file doubts about itself. They're going to tell you that babies come from people. This is a lie. We grew you in a lab Dad built in the crawl space back in the old house. You have Hobbit DNA. My little brother loves Gravity Falls. Oh, me too. And as a gift, I bought him a little pocket journal and filled it with notes in invisible ink. That is magnificent. That's like the best gift ever. Me. Oh wow, this shop has everything my heart desires. Spooky shopkeeper. Yes. I will warn you, every item comes with a price. Me, yes, I know how shops work. Spooky shopkeeper, the price may be more than you expect to pay. Me, yes, I know how US taxes work too. Shopkeeper, increasingly exasperated. I'm trying to tell you that I'm evil and offering these wares with no regard for the harm they will do. Me, increasingly exasperated. I know what capitalism is too. Yeah, the problem with cartoon villains is that they just can't do the same amount of damage as a billion-dollar corporation does in 5 years to mom and pop shops. I'm sorry, I don't know where that thought came from. Let's put that back where I found it. If Bowser kidnapped my wife, I would not be saying, woohoo! No matter how fun the jump was. What's this wife business? Nobody calls him Prince Consort Mario. If Bowser kidnapped my plumbing client, I would be saying, woohoo! As long as those hours were billable. Wait, was Mario just there for, like, literally actual plumbing? Does the bill extend to saving her? Like, I hate time-based hourly reporting oh my god, it drives me nuts. But I am now curious about this. My favorite tidbit about Kung Fu Panda is that China saw it and was like, how the frack did we not think of this before? The film's protagonist is China's national treasure, and all the elements are Chinese, but why didn't we make such a film? Wu Jiang, president of the China National Peking Opera Company, was cited as saying by that news agency on Saturday, China, we love Kung Fu and we love pandas. America makes a film about a panda who learns Kung Fu. China, what the frack? I am genuinely surprised there wasn't some version of this before Kung Fu Panda actually came out. That just seems like something that China would create and probably put some weird nationalist stuff in, but yeah. What in the, what? Escaped medical leech. I'm sorry, what? There are medical leeches? Yes, they work very hard to get their medical degrees. Not this one though, this one's trying to ditch class. I'm sorry, go back. There are medical leeches. I'm sure there are some for research purposes. This does not look like a research lab, but I've been wrong before, and I will again. But not when there's leeches involved. I will just be gone. Is it just me, or is NASA weirdly aggressive in their article about black holes? Could a black hole destroy Earth? Black holes do not go around in space eating stars, moons, and planets. Earth will not fall into a black hole because no black hole is close enough to the solar system for Earth to do that. Wow, this is coming off as real sassy. Even if a black hole the same mass as the sun were to take the place of the sun, Earth still would not fall in. The black hole would have the same gravity as the sun. Earth and the other planets would orbit the black hole as they orbit the sun now. The sun will never turn into a black hole. The sun is not a big enough star to make a black hole. Can a black hole destroy the Earth? No, you idiot. Black holes aren't planet gluttons, you britch. And the Earth isn't some weak-arse planet that would just fall into a black hole like a sucker. That dumb-arse sun that we've got isn't big enough to make a black hole like other stars, you fool. This reads like an exhausted doctor explaining that no, you fracking moron, vaccines do not cause autism. This reads like a tour guide or intern or something at NASA that just got back from leading a tour group from like rural Indiana that asked them about every single conspiracy theory under the sun. The sun is not going to become a black hole, you stupid. I love this. We need more sassy science. Florida man evades police capture for 31 days by living inside a giant inflatable lugia, followed by a panel I can't read and I'm not going to. And no, I would have survived the movie Carrie because I simply wouldn't have bullied her. Me eating my prom meal while everybody is getting mass murdered because they couldn't leave that poor girl alone. If you Catholic motherfuckers were really so interested in God's design, you would develop a theological appreciation of beetle biology. We really just say fracking anything on here, huh? British evolutionary biologist and geneticist J.B.S. Haldane quipped that if a god or divine being had created all living organisms on Earth, then that creator must have an inordinate fondness for beetles. Beetles, these words, class Insecta, order Coleoptera, account for a greater number of species than any other single group of living animal. Approximately 1 out of every 4 animal species on Earth is a beetle. That word would drown in the depths of your ignorance. I know there's a lot of beetles. I don't do squishy science. I'm glad there's a lot of beetles. I'm glad there's a lot of really fascinating beetles. I don't really want to have anything to do with them. When you have your period, do you ever just take a shower and stand there in the water and watch all the blood go down the drain and pretend that you just survived a gang battle and it's like a really dramatic time for you? Is this what girls fracking think about? We get our period once a month, every month from ages 12 to 55. That's a lot of fracking blood. We may as well try to make it fun. In my own experience with geology, most precautions with samples are to preserve the life and safety of the geologist. Most of the rocks are fine. I am continually reminded of one of my colleagues who wanted to collect a sample of gypsum on a field excursion, but was too lazy to take off his backpack and get his rock hammer. So he said, it's soft enough. Just fracking punch the rock until a piece fell off like it was fracking Minecraft. Okay, I knew gypsum was soft. I didn't realize you could just punch it until you got a chunk. Daniel Radcliffe's agent. Hello, Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe. Hello. Agent. Would you like to be in a movie? Daniel Radcliffe. Is it very strange? Agent. Yes. Daniel Radcliffe. Then yes. Agent. When can you get here? Daniel Radcliffe. I'm in your yard, climbing trees as we speak. This is exactly how he got the role playing Weird Al. Not far off, actually. Al contacted him, and Radcliffe said he was very pleased and flattered, but why him? And Al said he'd seen Radcliffe singing the Elements song next to a confused Rihanna on the Graham Norton show like 15 years ago and went, this guy gets it. That makes me very happy. I am a massive Weird Al fan because why wouldn't you be? And that just makes me so happy. The premise of Skyrim is just so funny. The shouts are just dragon language, making the fights between dragons basically an argument. But now the puny human has a minimal grasp of the vocab. Imagine you're disagreeing about with your bud about something unimportant like pineapple on pizza, and then a mouse came running over and called you a bitch. You laugh. But if a mouse ran up to me with a toothpick in hand and yelled "Britch blank" at me? Yeah, I'd also fall over and dissolve into a skeleton. I am not a huge Skyrim, like I am on the Fallout side of the fence between Fallout and Skyrim, but this makes me want to play Skyrim now. I just want to interrupt a dragon fight. Thinking of getting into the wedding industry, where I offer my services to brides with overbearing families, and my job will be to remind everyone else it is not their wedding. I can do passive aggressive, private aside with a vaguely threatening air, or just telling them to shut the frack up in front of everyone. The plan is you tell them I'm your fiance's estranged stepsister, so they'll even sympathize with you for being stuck with me instead of hate you when I tell them no one wants to hear about why they rudely disagree with your veiled choice. I will hire your services at my wedding, thanks. Oh, I do this for free as long as there's food at the reception for me. I would totally sign up for this. Did this thing on Dune. God Emperor of Doom is probably one of the greatest science fiction books I've never read. It's full of profound philosophical questions that remain relevant to this day, such as, would you love me if I were a worm? After the revolution, they went door to door with a card. On it were 3 letters. Read it out loud. Jif. For some, that was all. The rest of us, we died with our honor. GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format. When graphic is pronounced Jaffix, then I will pronounce GIF with a J. Burn us, boil us, do as you will. You have earned the right. This boy has issues. I looked it up. He says this after you beat him in ice hockey. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever earns that right. I'm at a museum right now, and I'm really bored, so I was taking a selfie, and this really hot guard said, "Please do not pictures of the artwork." Oh, and I apologized and explained I was only taking a selfie, and he goes, "I know," and winked. Oh my god! I took that as him not being serious about it. Wow, that was smooth. Preschool, the year of the ballerina and the cowboy. I feel like this show broke a lot of boundaries. For whatever reason, I'm having a hard time placing that show. I don't know why. In 1944, a kitten named George, short for General Electric because, of course, was saved from drowning by a U.S. Navy crew member. George was then photographed and given a Liberty card and a detailed health record. Adorable. I like the fact that they just drew the tail on. Oh, and we have the record of the physical examination. Name, George. Social number, 696969. Very nice. Full name, General Electric, because this cat has been brought to you by General Electric. Seattle, Washington, August 28th. Previous service, none. EM1C. Nationality, cats. Religion, Catholic. Oh, cat. Oh, darn. They really should have taken the H out of that. Name of kin or friend of the guys in lighting. Shop, USS North Carolina. Complexion, hairy. Hair gray. General appearance, cattish. Head and face normal. Eyes green. Ears right, pointed, left, pointed too. Mouth, nose, throat, you should see them. Skin and glands, can't see it, you worried? Neck, hollers like hell. Spine, twitchy tail. Thorax, just swell. Just a swell thorax. Respiratory, he does all right. Heart and blood vessels, he has red blood. That's some excellent medical work right there. Blood pressure, systolic 69, diastolic 69. Urinary system smells, it just smells. Nervous system worries hell out of everyone. There's too much going on here. Yeah, nationality. Religion, Catholic. As somebody who absolutely hates paperwork and administrative stuff, I bet the person who actually files his report was just itching to fill out a report with some BS information, and this was their chance. How old are you? I'll be 12 on October 11th. So will I. Your birthday's on October 11th? Yep. How weird is that? Extremely. You have the same fracking face. Ant-Man bathing a hot sauce for bonus damage. 2019. I hate that you don't have to give extra context because everyone on the internet already knows what's going on and why hot sauce would be considered bonus damage. If you don't know what's going on, I'm not going to explain it, but when I was in preschool, there was this really weird system of timeout where they'd put you in this giant plastic bucket, sort of like this one. And the rule was you couldn't leave the bucket for 10 minutes. In case you didn't know, I was what the teachers referred to as a difficult child, which is code for walking entity of sass. So I was in the timeout bucket quite a bit. Once they put me in the bucket for 30 minutes, and I thought that was incredibly unfair. So I grabbed the handles and shifted my body repeatedly until the bucket and I were out of the classroom, in the hallway, and through the front door. They found me in the parking lot, scooting to freedom in the timeout bucket. The teachers were furious, and I said, "Hey, I never left the bucket." They called my mom and told her what I did, and she just said, "Well, he never left the bucket." I was not this much of a menace, but I was very easily bored. And while I wouldn't try to directly get in trouble, if a teacher did something I perceived as unfair, I would be unfair back in a creatively annoying way, because I respected teachers. I still do. But you know, they're also people. And this is exactly the kind of thing I would have done. Friday at school, I heard some girl in the hallway scream, "For last time, Britch, I'm lesbian. I'm not trying to steal your boyfriend. He smells like ketchup anyways." He smells like ketchup. That's a very good one. And advertiser friendly. I like it. Thinking about that time in one of my art classes when the professor put up a silhouette of L from Death Note and said, "This is not an effective design because you can't tell who this character is from this shape." And everyone in the class went like, "Yes, we can. That's L from Death Note." Cleaning with ADHD is all about momentum. It's like being a shark. If you stop moving, you just straight up die. ADHD is all about momentum. If you stop moving, you die. I mean, also true. The first thing I did when I got ADHD meds that actually worked. Spoiler, I am very ADHD. It took a lot of ADHD medicine to actually start working. I got home from work and cleaned my kitchen. Like just top to bottom, just like put all this stuff like on shelves that made sense, organized the fridge, etc. And it took me like, I think an hour or an hour and a half or something like that. It has never taken me that little time to clean anything in my entire life. It was magical. This was like a galley kitchen in a studio apartment. You could spread your arms in both directions and touch the walls. Like it was not a big kitchen. And I was so amazed by the fact that people just like can do this. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Why did she just do this to me? Shepard's first conversations with the crew when she gains command of the Normandy SR-1 are hilarious. Shepard, hey, so all of these conversations are going horribly. My XO and gunnery chief are xenophobic. My lieutenant has a crush on me. I was racially insensitive to Rex. My pilot is an insubordinate little crap. Aw, please tell me you're chill. Garrus. Well, you don't have to worry about me. Shepard, good. Tell me about yourself. Why'd you join up? Garrus. CSEC wouldn't let me kill or abuse criminals. Spectres don't have any red tape, so I'm here to do things my way. Shepard. Oh, for the love of God. Been a long time since I've played Mass Effect 1, but I think the pilot's name was Joker. I don't know. I remember having a good impression, or at least he was funny. But Rex and Garrus were my favorites. I used my skills as a baker to seamlessly blend into my surroundings. This will never not be funny. Ideal way is for me to die. 1. Old age peacefully in my sleep. 2. After a long and illustrious career, I am at a rooftop gala hosted in my honor. I am wearing a beautiful gown, holding a glass of red wine, standing by the railing. A second lover approaches, and after a passionate spat, a scorned lover. I made this way more dramatic than it needed to be. A scorned lover approaches, and after a passionate spat, they push me over the edge of the building. The wine glass goes flying, splattering their outfit in red as a visual metaphor for the blood on their hands. As I descend, my gown flies around me like two beautiful wings, a bird in flight. A photographer on the street manages to take a photo before I hit the ground, and that photo wins the Pulitzer. A New York Times think piece is released regarding whether or not it's moral to profit off a photo of someone's death. The think piece also wins a Pulitzer. 3. Snacks accident. I like that 1 and 3 are just like perfectly reasonable, and number 2 is just, I would like Stanley Kubrick to direct my death. Thanks. I think instead of the woman taking her husband's name when they get married or doing the hyphenated thing, couples should just smash their last names together. So like if a Smith married a Grabowski, you could be Smarbowski or Grabith or Grasmithski. And then as the generations go on, the names just get more ridiculous. You have to keep one syllable from each generation, so by the end of it, you end up with like names that look like towns on Long Island. Maybe this already happened. Maybe that's how we ended up with Welsh. The historical figure, the fan art. Early bust of Alexander the Great by that word, possibly made from life. Later, Roman copy of Alexander the Great bust, centuries after his death. Yassification is just human nature, apparently. Yes, is anybody surprised by this? Yesterday, I went to buy something, and the store owner looked up at me and said something to me in Chinese, and I was so surprised that I just said, "What?" in English, and then we stared at each other for a full 10 seconds, like, what the frack? We're in Spain. My English teacher says a lot. Every time I'm like, haha, I bet he's from Canada. But then I remember I'm Canadian. I live in Canada. I watch so much American TV nowadays that today when I went downstairs and saw my dad drinking tea, I thought to myself, what is he, British? And then I realized my dad is British. I am British. We live in Britain. What the frick is going on? There's so much going on in this post. And I refuse to make any sense of it. I have 3 spoonfuls of sanity left, and they have to get me through the rest of the week. Connect the dots. No. I use a screen magnifier. You know how freaking hard this is? Okay, 1. How? I wish you spent as much, oh god, this can be so much time, blah, 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 blah. Time thinking about me as you spent trying to read this poem. What the frack is this thing meant to be? 0 to 10 worst ... ever. Would not recommend. I think it's a frog having a seizure. I don't know, that's all I got out of it. The duality of the word fairy. Creature to person and goth to cute. I'm sorry. Bottom left, none of that's cute. I'm sorry. None of that is, no, thank you. I think there's also a z-axis that goes from twee and harmless to you've been turned into an equal volume of spiders. Yeah, some fairy stuff is just like eldritch horror. We're not even gonna pretend it's not.